Hey, so in today's video we're going to be going over Popgun Cancelling and basically everything you need to know about it, including how it functions, which I think is a very important aspect of it. So to start off, Popgun Cancelling is basically good at like baiting out your opponent and kind of making them unsure of what you're going to do. I mean, as you can see, Popgun Cancelling, kind of as the name implies, just cancels what your Popgun is doing, and it just stops functioning. Now this might not seem very useful, but there are other characters like Snake who have B reverses that are very useful, and this kind of has a similar effect, where you can, if you time it right, you can B reverse it, and so it's basically a really good way to get down and get kind of around. You can kind of move with it sometimes, if I can get this right. But yeah, so it's a bit gimmicky, but it's very useful. Now, the part that probably many people were waiting for, how to do a Popgun Cancel. Now, I have a training mod pack at the top left, kind of help you visualize what's happening. The number indicates how many frames a button's being pressed. For example, if I hold the jump button, I'm holding it for 34 frames, 27 frames, and stuff like that. And you can see what inputs I'm doing. So, basically how to do it, there are kind of two methods that I use, but the second method is much better in basically every single way. So the first way you can do it is, say you're just in the air. If you hit shield and your special button on the exact same frame, then it will cancel it. Now this is very difficult because it is completely frame perfect. And you can see in my training mode, when I hit it, the ZR and B button show up at the same time because they're on the same frame. But if I mess it up like that, then the air dodge comes out first, and then the popgun just shoots as normal. So or actually sometimes it just doesn't shoot. And so if I accidentally hit B first, then it technically cancels it, but then just air dodges afterwards, which isn't good. Now this is kind of useful, except very, very difficult and very, very inconsistent and hard to get down. Gosh, I'm kind of consistent with it a bit, but like, I'm not great at it. So I don't recommend using this method too much, because it's just very, very difficult. Now method number 2 is one that I like to use a lot, and this is basically where you hold down the shield button, and then you just hold Popgun, and it automatically cancels. No frame perfect anything required. You have to just hold it down, and that's basically about it. Although there are a few things you can do with this, because first of all, you can just Popgun cancel like normal, but you can see when I hold down shield, all the inputs that I'm doing have ZR next to them. That's part of the reason, if I can get it again, this method worked, because B and Z are right next to each other. So basically, any way you can get into, this is called technically a buffered shield state, where if I land, it'll buffer shield, because it's trying to shield as much as it can, but it can't. So if you want to get into buffered shield state, there are a few methods. Now, one that I actually didn't know of until recently, if you charge up B and then hold down the shield button, you will get buffered shield state off of it. And like, it doesn't matter like when you start holding shield. See, I just started holding it there, I got it. And so this is nice for, say you're trying to like make it back to ledge and like mix up your ledge option. You can like jump and then B reverse back. Now other methods of doing it, which, I mean, up B is probably my favorite method, but you can air dodge and then just start holding it whenever you feel like, and then bam, you'll have it again. And then I think basically the last method, I mean, there's also like, if you Z drop, it's weird, if you like Z drop, recatch, start holding it, then it'll like let you Popgun cancel, but it's really gimmicky. But the last like actual method that could actually be used is, if you can't do any of those, there is a small window when you grab the ledge. If you hold shield and then mash jump, then you can See, get it right there. Except it's really weird because sometimes you might air dodge past ledge, and if you try to do it just from hanging ledge, you'll just roll get up. And so you'll have to shield like right as you grab the ledge, like as Diddy starts the ledge hang animation, and then you'll get it. So now that I showcased the methods, a very important aspect that you need to know about it is that Popgun Cancelling is very weird in the fact that if I go into frame by frame, say let me actually start Popgun Cancel. If I start it and hold it out, the move finishes on frame 14. And so frame 14 is when the Popgun Cancel ends. And so, technically, if I start a Popgun Cancel, I don't need to hold B for the entire time. If I just wait until right now it's frame 12, 13, if I just hit it only on frame 14, then it will cancel it, and because I hit the B button twice, it brings out another Popgun, which then lets me cancel it again, and then I can keep like looping, just Popgun, wait a few frames, Popgun, wait a few frames, Popgun, wait a few frames. And so that's why you can see some people just like mash it, but there is, as you can see, I'm messing it up right now, but there are a few gimmicky parts of it. Gosh, I'm messing this up a lot. But I think the biggest gimmick of it is that if you don't have the B button depressed on frame 14, the Popgun will just shoot like normal, even if you're in the buffered shield state. And this is because the move isn't technically getting cancelled anymore, because it's not on the ending frame of it. So if you want to cancel it, what you can do is you can hold it, and then, like I showed earlier, yeah, I messed it up there. But you need to hold it and then have the B button be depressed on frame 14, or else this won't work. So that's why sometimes if you just mash the B button, it won't work, because I'm not holding it on frame 14 sometimes, because if you do the math, I'll like put a pause here, but you can see the inputs, and if you add them all up, I think it was my third Popgun didn't have the B button depressed on frame 14. So basically, in short, the B button needs to be held down on frame 14 of every single Popgun cancel. Now, once again, this can even be difficult because you need to know like kind of a rhythm, I guess, or a beat, which can be a bit difficult. That's why like mashing the button occasionally works, occasionally doesn't. But like I said earlier, kind of just going back over it, the method I recommend using is the buffered shield state one, where you just jump out of shield, up B, air dodge, ledge get up, whatever you want to do. Any way to do this, like to give you the buffered shield state like thing. Now, this can also be useful because you don't need to be holding down shield. If you jump and shield at the same time, it'll still work, which is why sometimes it looks like I'm just jumping. But yeah, that's kind of all you need to know about it. I tried to go a bit more in depth with this guide because a lot of the other things I saw about it didn't really show. They showed how to do it, but they didn't show like what frames the button needs to be held down and stuff like that. And so I hope this guide helps you improve with Diddy, and as always, have a nice day.